My good friend Matt and I are delighted that you enjoyed our last episode, so we found some even zanier stories for you. Just listen to this one. Our main character in this next story drinks more water per day than an average person does in a week. This won't take long, so hear me out. Also, be sure to watch the video all the way to the end where I'll summarize the previous story, including giving you all the particulars and details that have since come to light. I'll also tell you how you can send us your amazing tales so that your stories can get featured in upcoming episodes. But before I regale you with the incredible saga of our water-drinking heroine, let me convey to you some watery science facts. Have you ever thought that ordinary fresh drinking water could kill you? Don't believe me? You should. At first glance, it seems that you should be able to drink this life-giving liquid 24 hours a day because, for one thing, your kidneys are capable of handling it. They can process between 5.3 to 7.4 gallons. That's roughly 20 to 28 liters per day. This is, simply put, an incredible amount of water they process, especially given their small size. Each kidney measures only about between 4.5 to 4.9 inches, or 11.5 to 12 centimeters in length. But here's the catch. Yes, over the course of an hour, your kidneys are able to process around 33 ounces or 1 liter of water. But if you consume more than this, bad things can happen. Really awful things. You can end up paying for it pretty badly. Excessive water consumption triggers a chain of dangerous events that could cost you your life. First, the H2O level in your blood increases dramatically, which leads to a decrease in the level of sodium, a vitally important chemical element. The fact is, sodium helps maintain fluid balance between the inside and outside of cells. When this level drops, excess fluid fills the empty spaces inside your cells, which then begin to swell, causing swelling throughout your entire body. And if your brain cells swell, the probability of your death increases dramatically. Don't kick back, relax, and think this can only happen in theory. Among athletes and soldiers, water intoxication is a fairly common phenomenon. There's even a recent case where a 30-year-old runner died during a marathon due to heavy water drinking. So yes, a few extra glasses of water really could literally kill almost anyone. Except, that is, for this episode's heroine. I'll tell you the full name of this superwoman in our next episode. For now, let's just call her Sasha. It all began when Sasha was barely 2 years old. She started demanding to drink water all day long. The unbearable thirst of this toddler certainly prompted her anxious and frightened parents to visit a doctor. But to the surprise of the doctors, Sasha was 100% absolutely healthy, and everyone assumed that this strange phenomenon would soon pass. But it didn't. The child's inhuman desire for water only increased with every year she grew older. Upon starting grade school, Sasha took a bottle of water with her everywhere. She became infamous for running to the water fountain during every break, and often wouldn't leave when it was time to go back to class. When this bizarre child turned 13, she was already drinking about 3¼ gallons, or 12 liters of water every day. When she was younger, Sasha's parents would put a small jug of water near her bed for her to drink at night. By her teens, it had been replaced with a 1⅓ gallon or 5-liter mega pitcher of water, and it was always completely empty by morning. Now, you might surmise, as they did, that this is some kind of a strange childhood condition related to hormones and growth and whatnot, and that it should stop sometime after the onset of puberty. Well, you would be wrong. After finishing high school, Sasha's thirst began to rise even further. She had to constantly change jobs since no company could fully meet Sasha's drinking needs, not to mention her constant bathroom breaks. By the age of 20, she was drinking about 4 1/3 gallons or 16.5 liters a day. And by the age of 26, her fluid consumption increased to 5.5 gallons, just shy of 21 liters a day. So just why in the world would an otherwise normal, average woman have such a supernatural thirst? That was the big question that nobody could figure out. Often, excessive water intake is a characteristic of, for example, people with mental disabilities. This is especially true for people suffering from schizophrenia. There was a study done in 1985, the results of which detailed that out of 27 schizophrenics who died at a young age, 5 died from water overdose. But even these poor souls did not consume as much fluid as Sasha does. If they had, they would have died long before. However, according to her doctors, our heroine of this episode is still 100% absolutely fine and healthy as a horse. Her life, of course, isn't wall-to-wall comfort, as she must endure going to the toilet 40 or so times a day, and also must wake up about every 15 minutes during her sleep time to take a sip of water. Every time her mouth dries up, she cannot think of anything else until she quenches her thirst. As if possessed, she rushes to the nearest source of water, bulldozing through any obstacles in her path. Nevertheless, her slightly odd lifestyle has not prevented her from starting a family and becoming the mother of 2 perfectly healthy children. She has adapted. Life goes on. When Matt first heard this story, Sasha was 26 years old. Now she should be about 33. Unfortunately, my friend Matt lost touch with her and doesn't know what has happened since then. But one thing is clear. Wherever Sasha is now, she's probably sipping something right at this moment, and her doctors are probably still shrugging their shoulders, utterly bewildered, trying to figure out just exactly what is wrong with her. It's understandably difficult to believe such a story, but for this girl, water is pretty much like air for everyone else. Every second without a sip of this precious liquid causes Sasha to suffer immeasurably. But again, what exactly is fiction here and what is truth? Give me your opinion in the comments and tell me what exactly caused your suspicions regarding this story, if you think it's an invention, or if you believe this amazing tale, then also please tell me why. And show this video to your friends and ask them what they think. It should be easier to figure this out together. I'll give you my verdict regarding this fascinating story in the next episode of the series. In the meantime, let's examine our story from the previous episode. You have no idea just how pleased I am that many of you identified a variety of inconsistencies in Matt's story about our New York City accountant, Richard Harris, and the giant anaconda. I poured through the comments under the video and compared them with known facts regarding these big snakes, and this is what I got. The fact is, anacondas generally do not really like to eat people. They're just too damn big. People, I mean. Therefore, upon meeting someone like our gallant accountant, this slithy tove would likely gyre and gimble away. But even in the event the anaconda did attack, it certainly wouldn't let Dickie into its stomach while he was still alive. After the first 10 seconds or so, Harris would have died from either suffocation, multiple bone fractures, or by choking on the anaconda's saliva with which these gargantuan snakes smear their prey. Ugh. Also, as some of you noted, the snake could only have spit out Dickie along with the boots. Paul Rizzoli also, by the way, did not spend a single second in the stomach of his anaconda. The snake first spent an hour trying to break through Mr. Rizzoli's protective suit, but after the attempt proved futile, it began to try to swallow him whole. Mr. Rizzoli balked at this point and then immediately called for help. The most realistic and believable part of the story turned out to be the jaguars. They only love fresh food and really do not eat the cast-offs or leftovers of their prey. The piranhas in the story behaved realistically enough, with one exception. These fish always hunt in shoals and are capable of gnawing a person to the bones in just about 40 seconds. If this part of Matt's story were true, Dickie the accountant would have probably died before he even reached the shore. Many of you noticed this right away, which is totally cool. Kudos to you. It seems to me that such vigilance tests are a great way for stimulating one's brain, a bit of a mental challenge, forcing us to apply our faculties in the areas of logic and knowledge. I'm thinking we should probably make more of this kind of episode. As I said at the beginning of the video, you can send us your story, and if Matt and I like it, we'll definitely make a video where we'll invite everyone to analyze your tale and get to the bottom of its veracity or lack thereof. This could be a real story from your life or from the life of your friends, or even a very plausible fiction. It's important that you understand, we're not trying to mislead people with these stories. On the contrary, our goal is to show people how important it is to subject everything to doubt and develop one's critical thinking abilities. After all, if you take even the most delusional and fantastic story and throw some real scientific facts into the mix, it very well might seem true to many people. Thus, we've decided to develop this new series where together we can expose the fictions that are so prevalent on the internet today and learn to distinguish the genuine article from fabrication. We're waiting for your letters. Thanks for watching this video. I hope for you it was time well spent. See you in the next exciting episode.